Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting video episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy, and I'm happy you're here. Let's get the easy stuff out of the way. As always, if you like what you heard, you like what you're hearing, and you think you're going to like what you're going to hear next, hit that follow button, hit those 5 stars, like, subscribe, wherever it is, I don't know. And make sure to follow me on YouTube if you're listening to this, at Jimmy's Jambox, and on Instagram if you're watching this, at Jimmy's Jambox. That's right, it wasn't taken yet. This is the second video interview. I'm super excited. I promise I'll stop counting after this week, but we've got 3 more of them, so get used to it. But I've got a guest, and I'm super excited. I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name's Sam, AKA Mankato, AKA Mankatofornow, AKA a lot of other things. It happens.
Hell yeah, man. I am so glad to have you here. This is going to be fun. For those of you that don't know, I've known Sam for quite a while. We worked together for a bit. We've hung out a handful of times. Good people. It's going to be a fun interview. And let's go ahead and get right into it. You introduced yourself. Now why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're from, what you do, give us that Tinder profile.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm kind of toying with a new phrase. I'm from Portland. I'm not a Portland artist, but I'm from Portland. I'm still working with that. I don't know. We can get into it later, but that's kind of the thing. But yeah, I grew up here. Been here my whole life. That's all I really can say. I'm from Oak Grove, if you know where that is. It's a little bit south of Portland, but my address says Portland, and my address has always said Portland, so I'm from Portland.
True. Aren't you technically on that line for Milwaukee?
Well, it's it's unincorporated Clackamas County, if I'm doxing myself. But it's like it still says Portland on my address.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna lie with that, and I moved. I haven't always lived there, but still.
Fair. Well, we can talk geographical locations later.
Yeah, absolutely.
What got you into music?
So I've been into music my whole life. I mean, that's kind of obvious. Like, I feel like a lot of artists say that, but realistically, what got me into it was, if you want to talk about how I got into making music, then I was like sophomore year of high school, and I was listening to a lot of like emo, screamo rock music. It was like I was 14, 15, so I was kind of getting out of my rap phase from middle school and kind of branching out to learning, to listening to more bands and stuff, and kind of falling in love with I also like the bass player of this band or the guitar player. Oh, there's a drummer. It's like, it was more people than just like the front. So that's kind of my I was kind of getting into that, and then one of my friends was like, "Hey, let's start a band." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Yep. And I'd play guitar for a while, off and on since I was 7 at the time, but I ended up, I had a bass that my mom's friend had given us. It was like this. It was one of the worst basses, one of the worst instruments I've ever had. It did everything I needed to do. It was a great little learner's bass, but it sounded like crap, and it didn't play very well. And it was this weird short scale bass. But one night I was just listening to Fall Out Boy, and I'm not even a huge Fall Out Boy fan, but I was listening to Dance Dance by Fall Out Boy, and I was like, wow, I could play this. And I just went online, looked up the tab, and busted it out. I was like, wow, wait a minute, hold on, this is calling to me. It was like this awakening. I was like, I'm just gonna play bass, that's just gonna be my thing. And it was it's a lot easier than having to learn guitar. I couldn't even play bar chord at the time, so I was just playing G's and the basic stuff, and I was like, I don't want to do that thing, so I'm just gonna play a couple of strings with my and that from there I ended up downloading GarageBand, and I did a cover of The Weeknd's I Can't Feel My Face.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh yeah, I'll do this. Showed to all my friends at school. It was awful. It wasn't good. It was out of time, but I was like, it kind of got me into not just playing the bass into my computer, but also learning how song structure works and how synths fit in. And I was like, oh, I'm playing synths on the keys. I was using the keyboard of my laptop to play it, and it was kind of I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna make music. And then from there, I actually ended up just producing rap beats. They were, realistically, they were more like dance beats at the time. It was this weird thing. I was like, I'm gonna make rap music, but I also kind of like deadmau5. And so a lot of the beats were very I would just use like a lot of Logic stock stuff. I started on Logic. That's where I produce on. But it was all just like the stock drums and stuff like that, and all the stock sounds.
I give credit where it's due. Logic's stock setup algorithmically has always been very sturdy. Like they just had the money to do it.
Yeah,
and they definitely did it.
The thing is, you have to have, the problem with is you have to have some sort of ear to really pick out the good from the bad, because there's a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of, especially like after like going back into it now, I'm like, oh wow, a lot of this does sound really good.
It's definitely like a pound for pound thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not that they're the best sounding, but when you compare them to other stock sounds, they're pretty sturdy.
But I was definitely using a lot of the crappy dance stuff for like hip hop. That was, I think that's one of those things is like context. It's like I'm using like a dubstep kit for a trap song. It's like, this doesn't sound right because it just the wrong.
Yeah, it's not the right sound.
I didn't understand the concept of like, oh, certain drum sounds will kind of characterize the song, and I was like, no, it's a rap song because because I want you to rap on it. You know, I didn't know what it was, and so I would try to get kids from my school to like rap on my beats, and I would send it to people. I made a whole bunch of different things, and I actually had a beat tape that I made that was awful. It was bad, but it was always this weird stuff because it was always like this, like it was never just like your classic like trap music. It was always like this weird like pop song. I was always a pop artist at heart. I just wanted to be a rapper because I think it was cool in 2016 to be, or 2016 to be a rapper. I was like, that became the thing, you know, like later that year, you know, as soon as 2017 came out, it was like, oh, it's SoundCloud rap. That's like the thing. But I couldn't. It was never my like real journey was to be a rapper. So all these songs I was trying to make, especially not knowing how to really create songs, didn't kind of turn out that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was what got me into doing that, and then the rest is history. I just, you know, from there on, you know, now I do what I do, you know. So
and you do it well. Let's do a fun one. This is definitely a early crowd favorite question. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
So this is kind of like an embarrassing take, but there's an artist called Jake Miller. He is a pop artist now, but back when I was listening to him in like 2013, he was making like very pop rap. It was like for the time, 2013 pop rap, and I was really into him at the like it was middle school, and I was like, oh, this is my jam, you know. And he dropped an album, and I was like, I'm buying it, and I just bought it. Now, that's the end of the answer. At the end of the day, that was the album, but I think it doesn't really characterize really what I listened to at the time, because I was just buying a lot of songs. I grew up in like the digital age, so I never like had the experience to go to a music store and purchase a CD. So I never bought a CD in my life. I don't think I've ever bought, actually I don't think I've ever bought a CD in my life. But I bought a lot of music online, and you know, when I was, you know, buying music as a, you know, like an 8-year-old or not, or I guess I was like probably like what, 9, 10. I was like first purchased music when I was like probably 10 years old. But it was on my dad's iPad.
Yeah.
On iTunes, and he was like, we were doing a road trip, and he gave me $10. Like, all right, buy whatever you want. I'm not buying an album. I'm buying like different songs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
that makes sense.
That I think, you know, the first album I ever bought with my own money, you know, I bought a full album was this Jake Miller record, Us Against Them. But you know, I don't think that totally, you know.
You know, I don't think your first. A lot of people answer this question as like their first album is their whole story.
Yeah.
But I think the first album is like, I mean, I've said it a million times for the listening experience audience, but for first time on video, my first album was The Carter by Lil Wayne.
Wow.
Yeah.
But see, that's like cool and like.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like, it doesn't like define
more
of the music that I mean, you know, still shout out Lil Wayne, talented dude, like the catalog for days.
It's more respectable.
But I mean, dude, I mean, what would I say? I'm trying to think of what my second album was, because I don't even think that was actually the second thing I ever bought coincidentally was also a digital experience. Or maybe not the second thing I bought, but the second thing I can remember buying is I downloaded Attack Attack's self-produced EP.
Wow.
Yeah, like I still have those copies somewhere.
Yeah.
This was like back when like Stickly and things like that was before the label version, when they redid all of it.
Of course.
And I still stand behind it. Hit harder. That's all I'm saying. Like, it was a little bit different, but we're not here to talk about them. I've got one more kind of foundation question, then we're going to move into a little bit deeper stuff. Mm-hmm. What was the first show you ever went to?
Right. So this is an easy answer that I always say, but there were times as a kid that I remember going to like the blues festival. I think was the first memory of a show that was like a really produced show. But it was, you know, I remember like probably one song, like this tiny. There was this, like, my brain's got like this one little moment. I was like, oh, I remember being there.
Yeah.
And then I went to like these small little neighborhood shows that we would have when I was a kid. My neighborhood actually had a little park that they would throw shows at.
That's cool.
It was kind of cool. Yeah, but you know, those weren't like super well produced. They were just kind of like, you know, bands. They were. I mean, I don't even know who they were. I mean, they could have been anybody.
They're just some bands.
They could have just, you know. I mean, I hope those people are doing well, but I don't know.
All right, then what was your first like show that you wanted to go to that you like sought out?
That would have been fun. 2013. I don't remember where the tour was, but it was
the band is fun. The name is fun. Just to clarify for those that don't know.
FUN period, I think, is technically how it's stylized, but that was that was the height of their career. And I remember walking, it was at Edgefield, on the Concerts on the Lawn, which I love that place.
Great venue. Great
spot.
venue.
But I remember walking down the path, like we're getting in line. The line's just it's just, we got there a little late, so like the line's like, you know, for like super long. And I'm walking by, and I'm like, oh, all these people just came here for their top songs they heard on the radio. Meanwhile, I'm like this 13-year-old kid who's listened to maybe 3 of their songs, you know, if that. And
so you're a diehard, is what you're saying.
I was a one. I was the real fan there. You know what I'm saying? But I remember that very, like, that was. I remember going to that show and being like, wow, that was a concert. So, yeah.
Well, hell yeah. I mean, that great first show.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was super, super cool.
All right, now let's go ahead and let's dive a little deeper. Let's get under the surface.
Yeah.
What made you pick your name? And let's focus on Mankato for now.
Right. So Mankato for now came from, there's 2 parts of the story. The first one is just it's a town in Minnesota. It's where my mom grew up. Spent a lot of time there as a kid. A lot of my pretty much my whole family's from there, on my mom's side. Yeah. And that is like the one town in the United States that I know. Now, I don't know as much as I know Portland, obviously, but I know it. That's like the second best town that I know. I could navigate that place pretty easily. You know, you go on a map, I can get around. If I was stuck there with no one, I could get around there. So that like kind of has like a, you know, second home type situation feeling to me. So I'm like, totally. You know, I got a little heritage from there. I wanted it's a cool name. It's a really, really cool name. And and then on top of that, you know, I was like, oh, I need a new name. And yeah, that's the thing. It's my mom's birth town, you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, you know, and the for now part came from the fact that I just keep changing my name, especially right before Mankato was the choice. There was like 3 other ones before that between my last one that was like official, you know, and I have 3, like I was telling my friends, I telling my college friends at the time, like, oh yeah, I'm going by this now. I'm like, what the heck? And then I was like, oh, actually, you know, I said last week, no, I'm going by this now.
You do it enough, they're just going to call you Baskin Robbins.
Literally, yeah. And
that's Jimmy's stupid joke of the day.
It was, you know, I have a million different names, right? But the for now I was like, Mankato was what it was supposed to be, and then I was telling someone like, oh yeah, it's Mankato for now. Yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute, that kind of sounds cool.
That does hit.
And then I just went with that. So, you know, we'll see how long for now is. You know.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I mean, I think it's rad, but if you change it, I still support you.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy.
Now let's go ahead and dive into your writing process. Do you have like a specific place? Do you have like an approach, like certain people you work with? How do you go about putting music together? Yeah. So writing for me, the main thing that I kind of like take away from the main thing that's the same every time is like I gotta have the spark. I gotta have like I want to write right now. If I sit down, I want to write right now. God damn, sorry. If I sit down and I want to and I sit down like, okay, I'm making a song tonight. It's like most of the time it's probably not happening. But if I'm like I just have an idea, like I got an idea, I want to do something, I'm at least coming out with something. It's not always great. It's not always long. It's not always like really anything at all. Maybe it's a loop, but it's like I'm making something. And that's it's like I'm never just I don't force myself to do anything. You know, I think when it comes to like writing, even if it's like with other people, typically if I'm not feeling it, it's like I don't know about this today. You know, I gotta have the right headspace, gotta all that kind of thing. Yeah. Writing with people is definitely a little bit different. You don't get that. You don't really get that
opportunity to just be, oh, we can just do it today or do it a different day. It's like, I'll sit down with someone, but there's got to be the connection. There's got to be some sort of like thing. Like writing with Walker has been a big.
Shout out Walker.
I gotta shout out Walker. That's Whotfiswalker. That's the project that we're on right now. Courthouse just dropped.
Actually, by the time it's come out, it would have dropped just a little bit ago, but it is still the most current thing to the best of this video's knowledge.
It is. I think by this coming out, we might have something else out. We got a lot of stuff coming, but either way, listen to Chorus. Good song.
It's been on the show before.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But.
R.I.P. to the music format real quick.
Yeah. I can just like sing it really quick and then we can talk about it.
Can you just acapella the beat?
And
then I'll have you do another acapella of the vocals.
We'll just, like, loop
and
it.
then I'll just lay them on top of each other. Dude,
perfect.
TikTok trend. Let's go. I'm kidding.
But yeah, when I've wrote with a lot of people. I don't think anyone has been as like easy to work. This is not. I'm not. No shade to anyone I've worked with.
No, there's just some people you gel with. I think I'll steal that one for you.
Perfect.
Like when I was in Smooth Talk, Corey was one of the people who I had never made music so fast or so successfully with anybody ever. But him and I would just sit down and I would have this idea, and he would just be like, "Oh, well, I have this idea because of that idea." And like, oh, that idea gives me this. Like, there are people, you can work with a lot of people, but then there are people that you can build with. They have that other half.
Exactly. There's like a connection. Like when me and Walker are writing, it's very much like things just happen. It just happens really natural. And it's very like, there's no, this isn't working out right now, or I don't want to do this. When I work with Walker, things just happen. They happen naturally. They happen easy, which is a big thing. I think it should be.
And I bet they're fun.
Of course, they're super. It's so much fun. We're always having a good time.
Yep.
But I also I do enjoy working with people. It's just like, I don't work well with everyone, and I can't. It's one of those things. Like I want to be a writer. I want to write songs. I want to help people write songs. That's kind of one of those big things I want to do. But it's also like I'm not going to just work with anybody, not because I don't want to, but because it just doesn't always click,
No, totally.
I want to shout out really quick, Smooth Lips Ryan, or my homie Ryan Doris. That's the other homie. I wrote a lot of stuff with him, and I think that he's a big collaborator that I gel with really well.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think I do want to say really quick that like writing with people is a big thing. I think.
It's huge.
I think
it's
having
huge.
someone else to bounce things off of, like I've gotten mad.
We talked about that during the Whotfiswalker duo episode.
Yeah.
So y'all go listen to that. That was a lot of fun. There was some really cool stuff in there, so you're going to want to check it out. I don't remember what episode it is, but you'll know it when you see it. Now, this is a heady question. Out of your entire discography, what song do you think represents you most as an artist right now?
Wow. That's a song. That's a question. There's one song that I have that I always kind of point to as like, I don't know if it necessarily represents me right. No, honestly, it might. There's a song called Nightmares that I wrote back when I was 18. There's a lot of things about it I don't like, but. And I don't know if it's even it used to be for a long time. The answer was like, that's my favorite song I've ever written. Like that's the song. Like that's my magnum opus. I haven't topped that yet. It's an 8-minute song. It's split into 2 parts. There's Nightmares, and then there is, oh God, I don't even remember the second part's name on the album. It's like, oh my God, that doesn't matter. The point is, it's 2 parts, and it's this like emotional kind of just weird roller coaster. I think I did some of my best. I've definitely done better writing since, but at the time that was part of a 2-part album that I was writing with Ryan, and it was called The Shallow Grove. It was called Shallow Grove Volume 1 and 2. They were both like 7 songs each, I think. And this was the final 2 songs on the second project, which ended up being the last of the volumes. I think we wanted to do a third one, but it just didn't end up working out. And we changed path. And honestly, those albums were, back in the day, those were they were like, oh, I did good. They're all right. There's some okay songs. There's a lot of bad stuff on there. A lot of things that, I did some stupid rap stuff that I don't even like. I'm like, this isn't really what I would like to show people. But those two songs specifically, I consider it one song. It's just Nightmares. That's the song. But it's just this like crazy, like very like open and what's the word when you're it's like I don't know, I'm a vulnerable, a very vulnerable song, and it talks about heartbreak and love and some things I did at the time that I wasn't proud of, and kind of just like this like overthinking of like, oh my god, why overthinking these things. But the song is just crazy. It's just like so much, there's so many ups and downs. It's like there's this whole like of like it's a story, we told a story, and it's again, I think I could have definitely like fixed some stuff on it that I would like to go back on, obviously, but that song specifically I think just really showcases a lot of what I like to do, and I would like to go back to that kind of like feeling and that kind of sound sometime. But that's a great song. That's still out everywhere, I think. But
well, y'all definitely go check it out.
Insomnia,
Nightmares.
That's what it is.
Oh, Nightmares and Insomnia.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Bet. Oh, good pair of names.
Yeah, right?
All right, now I've got one more heady question and then one more fun one.
Cool, yeah.
As an artist, what do you think you're doing to push the envelope?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, this is oh my god. Okay, this is gonna get me heated. That is something. So the I'm gonna
now before we answer, and this I'm putting this one out there because it's an early video. Not so much what are you doing that differs yourself, but what are you doing that you feel is a creative, inspirational foundation? Like, what are you doing that you feel is like a level of like next, but not in comparison to someone else, like that you feel is like something that sets you definingly apart for its presence?
Like almost like what's pushing
what is unique about you?
In a vacuum. We're like talking in a vacuum here. Yeah. Well, I think that I'm gonna talk about the Walker stuff because that is just like at this point that is what I am.
Yeah, totally.
In terms of
if that's how you're defining yourself as an artist, that's how you're defining yourself, and that's fine. I think some of the coolest music I've ever heard you make is coming out of Whotfiswalker.
I believe that is where that's where I'm definitely doing my strongest stuff now. It's my newest stuff, so I guess technically it does. I just haven't reached my peak yet.
I think that when you find the right person to collaborate, it elevates you. It's not saying that working with other people is always going to elevate you, but right now you are working with somebody who elevates your ability to perform and play at a different level.
It's just like things happen perfectly. They just come together.
But what do you think is like the distinct element of what y'all do?
I think there's just like it's just good music. I generally believe it's just like I think that I am a good. This is me like push my own. I'm ego in here, but I think I'm a good song pop writer. Like, I'm not claiming to be the most intricate, crazy instrumentalist. I'm not writing the most insane things. We're not even talking about topics that are meaningful. At the end of the day, those elements of songwriting, I'm not the best at. I'm no Frank Ocean when it comes to writing. I'm no, I can't lyricize. I can't write crazy. I'm no big writer, but when it comes to like making good sounding things that you want to go back and you want to listen to it, that is where and again, you don't have to compare myself to anyone. I just believe that like the music itself exists as a very like, I am always that's what I do. I just strive to write the next best song. I'm not trying to make like I'm not trying to make like necessarily like a pop charter song. I'm not necessarily I definitely do take into account a lot of like,
I want to cut you off on this one real quick because I think that a lot of people say this on the show and it gets taken the wrong way. When you say best song, do you mean the best song that's ever existed and compared to all songs, or do you mean best song as in the best song you've ever made?
Well, I will say,
because best is a tough word.
Best
is a top level word. That is the best is what sits at the top. So like I said, I'm kind of asking you to define it just because a lot of people say this, and I think that a lot of people listen to the word best and they assume best of all the songs.
Right.
And some when really I like to think that everybody means just best that they've ever made. And if you're always striving for that goal, that's an achievement. So I ask one more time, like, is that what you mean by it?
I'll say it's a little bit of both. It absolutely is. I would say there's definitely a part of it that is like better than other people's stuff. If you or the best song that exists, or, whatever. But the big part is definitely the best song that I've ever made, which I'm always trying to make the best song I've ever made. But I do think it's more of like we just watched Whiplash, the movie, and we had this me and Walker and our other friend Akil, shout out to Akil.
Shout out to Keel.
We had this big argument afterwards about how, like, what is the right way to look at music? And I was like, the way that he's making him drum so hard and doing all these things is too, it takes away the art form. But it kind of got me thinking, and it just clicked right now. But it's like, I don't see my music like when I write this. I almost see trying to make a good song. I guess best isn't. I'm not trying to I'm not competing with other people, but I'm saying I just want to write it's like a sport in a way. I want to just push myself to make something that sounds so like good, and I that's a very vague term, but it's like something that's like I go home and listen. I'm like, this song is really, really good. It doesn't have to be. I don't have to play a guitar solo that is better than Eddie Van Halen or beats Jimi Hendrix or anything like that. I don't have to be a better guitar player than Jimi Hendrix, but I want to write a song that people will just like listen to and be like, damn, that is a good ass song.
Yeah.
And like I want to go back and listen to it. And I want to listen to it again and again and again. And
I have a slight iteration because you want to make the best song that people remember.
Yeah.
Like,
well, people remember and want to listen to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they remember it, they'll want to listen to it again. That's why they remember it.
Right.
Okay. I'm starting to get it now.
Yeah, it's like I don't need validation of like a pop or a Grammy or something like that to be like, this song's good. I'm just like, I know that if I'm writing something, I'm like, I want this to be a good song. Like this song just
you could tell when people vibe with a song, and then when people vibe with the song. Yeah.
It's like going back to the song I was talking about earlier, but like Nightmares, like that song's a good song. Like the ideas that I was just having was just a really good song. And so this whole thing is like, I want to make a song that is like just better. It's good. It's fun. It's like, I like the idea of looking back at a song that I just made and be like, that's my magnum opus.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Dude, that was a really fun discussionary aspect. Yeah. Like I don't like to break fourth walls often, but like, there was some stuff in that. We're gonna have to go back and sit on that one a little bit.
There's something.
I wasn't listening per se. No, I'm kidding.
I was saying a lot of different things, but I think there's something you could take away from that. Yeah, you could put some stupid song behind it and clip that on TikTok. Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely.
Now we've got one more kind of like artist focus, and then we'll like move into a couple hypothetical ones.
Yeah, run it.
What was the wildest show you ever performed?
Ooh,
or like most favorite. Like let's. Either or, if you've got the craziest story, do that, or your most favorite story, do that.
I will say, I got some interesting ones. I got some stories. I'll just, if we're gonna play, if you want to get into some Sam lore, I'll talk about some Sam lore, and that is the first show I ever. Oh, but man, okay, I'm gonna shelve some of these stories for like later. We'll bring them up later. We'll talk about it at a different time. But for right now, I'm just going to talk about my first like real show.
Okay.
I was 18, fresh out of high school, and me and my homies we were like, oh, we want to play a show. We was like, oh, I want to play a show. And I didn't. And like I was kind of making music. We're dropping stuff. People were liking the songs. And my friend who was living with me at the time, his name's Silas. Big shout out Silas.
Yo, shout out Silas.
He's killing it. He's in LA right now. His only song he has right now. We did a lot of stuff together that isn't like out technically anymore under his on his Spotify, but he's got a song out right now that's kind of crazy. It's wild. You listen to that song, like that's a well produced song. I'll tell you that. But that summer we're like, we're gonna play a show. And he's like, I think at the time maybe 20, I'm 18, and we're kind of sitting here like, how do we do this? What do we do? And we hit up the Hawthorne Theater. Okay. Now we're two people at this time, kind of like relatively unknown. Like I've got high school homies that know me. Mm-hmm. He had like a little YouTube channel at the time that some people did know him from, so he had a little bit of clout there. But like the Hawthorne Theater's not they don't give a shit about that. They don't really care. And we're like, we're gonna play a show at this spot. And somehow this was like pre-COVID. I think we just got really lucky because they hit us back. They're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And he was talking. He was doing a lot of work. I gotta give him a lot of credit. He was doing a lot of work to get to talking to them. Mm-hmm. And going back and forth, and they were like, actually, so yeah, so we have people. We've established it. We booked the show. It's me, Ryan, Silas, and our homie Empress. This girl I went to high school with. She's also awesome. Shout out Empress.
Shout out Empress.
That was a crazy lineup. It was 4 people. It was 3 acts. I did a little DJ set at the beginning, but we're a couple weeks out before the show. The venue's like, hey, bro, like, you're not selling tickets. We don't think you're going to sell tickets. We want to put a different artist on the bill to sell more tickets because we just want this to be a successful night.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not a bad idea. I could rock with that. But Silas was like, hell no, this is our thing, bro. He's like, this is our show. And I was like, okay, word.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. And I was like, okay. And they also gave us physical tickets to sell, which I hate, but they didn't make us pay for them.
Yeah.
It was like, here's physical tickets. If you don't sell them, bring them back. If you don't give us the money you make. Like, it's like one of those things where it's more of like, we only have to pay them if we lose them on accident. Right. And so day of show, we're pulling up, we're getting ready, it's super chaotic because like we didn't really know what we were doing. I have 2 laptops going, one has auto-tune on it and one has the songs on it, and I have my homie from high school and he's like running between both of them doing things. We're getting ready, it's crazy. It was just like this, I felt on top of the world. Right. And we opened the show. There's a bunch of shit that happens. Like we're like, oh, we thought this person was gonna play it this time, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just do like a 15-minute DJ set to kind of like push the time back a little bit. Yeah. We ended up selling 180 tickets. 70 of those were at the door.
Okay.
So we sold like 100, like 110 pre-sale or something like that. 70 at the door. A lot of those were just random people. I didn't even I was surprised. I mean, here's the thing is I had a huge reach because I was just at a high school, so I knew a lot of people. And it was also kind of that point where it's like, hey, I'm playing a show at the Hawthorne Theater. Yeah. And when your high school friend, and you're out of high school and he's like, oh, he's playing the show at the Hawthorne, like that felt like a big deal.
Yeah, that
right?
matters.
And that show ended up being pretty packed out. It was a crazy show, but the reason so there was all that. I think that was a big thing about that. I was like, that was a big moment for me. And also it was just like, we were just like, yeah, fuck you. Don't book someone else.
Don't put somebody on our show.
Yeah, like hell no. But
what if they did that and they never planned on booking another band? They just like wanted to light a fire. They were like, we're going to inspire you the only way that works by telling you we're bringing in a rando.
I'm not giving credit to that fucking place.
I'm just having fun.
No, that would be great. But no, I know those motherfuckers aren't doing that. If you look back at the footage, I looked like an idiot. There were so many bad moments. It wasn't like I was not a great performer at the time.
I mean, I don't think any of us are in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I ever got on like a real stage, but we did like a wall of death because I was like really into metal. I just knew I was really into like different, like, I mean, I was into like emo shit, and I was listening to like, some metalheads would be like, you weren't listening to metal, whatever you want to say. But I was in a lot of rock music, and I was like, we're doing a fucking wall. I was watching a lot of Bring Me the Horizon. I was like,
oh, totally.
We're doing a wall of death, bro. And I get on the mic, I'm like, all right, everyone split the pit. All right, it's you versus you. The problem is, this is a bunch of high schoolers who listen to like hip hop. No one knows.
They don't know what a wall of death is.
No, so they just think it's like a chant thing. And I'm like, all right, when the beat drops, like y'all going crazy. You're gonna, and it ended up being this kind of mediocre mosh pit with people just yelling because I thought it was like a competition. It just didn't work very well. I thought it was. I
mean, I'll give you credit for trying to do a wall of death on your first show.
I mean, come on, and there was enough people. It wasn't like it was like 10 people in the pit. It was like
it would have been funnier if it was 10 people.
Yeah,
you 5 over there. You 5 over there. I did the math.
You gotta go. You know, but if it would have worked, it would have been crazy. But,
yeah, that would have been wild.
Yeah, that show it makes me mad because that show made like $2,200. Like that show like kind of made money, but the venue just like knew we didn't know what we were doing, so they took all of it except for $100 that we split between the 4 artists plus my DJ who I paid.
Whoa.
And it was like, okay, cool, everyone gets $20. Like,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Rough.
But it wasn't the craziest show I've ever done. I'll save it for a different time. But that show was just like one of my favorite. Like, damn, I did that.
Hell yeah. All right, now let's move into some hypotheticals.
Yeah.
These are fun ones. If you could work with any one artist or member of a group or band that's currently alive, who would it be?
And
let's do like established artists.
Yeah. Right. Just someone. God. This answer has changed a lot, and I will.
The
whatever
answer
I'm
never
saying
has to
right
be
now is going to change in a week and a half.
Right now is
but
all that matters.
I would say if I could work with, if Benny Blanco. I would say would be someone I would work with.
Okay, yeah.
And that's just because it's solely because I want to see what we could do.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, hey, I know you write some stuff. So what are we doing? You know?
I could tell you now I'd vibe with that.
Yeah, it'd be
for
crazy.
sure. Like I can already tell that'd be good.
Awesome. I would,
Yo, shout out Benny.
I mean, see, I want to be like that because I want to just be writing songs with people. Like I just really like to do it. I like to write songs, and I know he has like a ear for good music.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I respect that. I'm like, damn, I know your ass knows how to make a good song. It sounds good. Which is a huge thing. And that's like top talent. He's like in terms of songwriting right now alive, like there's probably not anyone. I could be wrong. I don't know the fucking numbers for sure, but he's got to have like the most pop hits of anyone, or like top performing songs. He's on a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, probably him.
Okay. Yeah. Now this is one I've been asking a little more recently, and it always yields something kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Who's a local artist that you haven't interacted with that you would want to?
Ooh, a local artist that I haven't interacted with.
Yeah, like somebody that you know of.
There's a band called Alien Boy. And their music's good. I think it's really solid music. Whatever they're doing right. And I just want to talk to them and be like, all right, so let's see what you're doing. Because they make some really cool music, but they're like touring and stuff. They're like, like you want to talk local, they're a big local act that I think is like really excelling in the scene.
Hell yeah.
So,
hell yeah. Well, I hope they listen to this.
Yeah.
And, or watch this. Got to get used to that.
Either one.
Yeah. And, maybe I'll link up.
Yeah. That'd be tight.
Now, two more. Second to last hypothetical question.
Keep them coming. I'm rocking with it.
If you could play at any one venue, and thanks to Zev, shout out Zev, we have to limit it to the confines of the planet Earth. Because he said the moon, and I was like, shit.
Real.
You win.
That's fair. That's fair.
Any place on Earth, if you could have it be a venue for one show, and you had two supporting acts.
Okay.
What venue? And what two acts? And they have to be alive, but sky's the limit on who and where.
Right. So we're talking
literally sky's the limit.
And they have to be alive, right? Yeah, they have to be alive.
Yeah, that's just a fun caveat.
Yeah. Just because last time, so I will say, just out of context, I have to say this, the Moda Center is where I would probably choose, but I want to have some fun with this. So I want to say wherever the hell they do a Reading and Leads festival.
Okay.
But it's got like this. We're talking like the stage has got to be set the same, and it's got to be like it's a big ass spot, like this giant fucking huge place. I would put Bring Me the Horizon on the bill.
Okay.
Just because I want to recreate the Around the Tower bit that he did, where and I want to do it with them. So like that's kind of thing I would have put Bring Me Horizon. And I would put. Wait, who am I listening to right now that I really like that I would put on this bill just to go crazy with it? I can't think of them. So we're gonna go with, let's see, Bring Me the Horizon as the. It would be, I don't know. We would do the Walker stuff. We go crazy with it. We had the biggest production in the world. We got some like crazy pyrotechnics and like the giant set. I'm gonna steal a little bit of the Kid Leroy's Coachella performance, and I want to do like a what's it? Oh my god, a dump. I want a dump with like crazy old like Chevy trucks.
Okay.
On fire and shit. Yep. And so that's what I would do the stage. I would have Bring Me the Horizon play second because they would just get that shit going crazy.
Yep.
Then I would think I would open it with who would I open it with? I'm gonna choose something. I don't have a. There's a guy that I can't think his name. He's like Noah something. He's like super folky. No, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do Vancouver Sleep Clinic because this would be a crazy show. We open it with Vancouver Sleep Clinic, and there's like, but this whole thing starts at like 10 p.m. and it's like dark out.
Yep.
And there's like crazy lights and stuff, and he's doing this the most ethereal you're like falling asleep, you're like tripping and shit, and there's like the light show is just insane. And then it goes into Bring Me the Horizon. They just tear
just rip your face off.
Yeah, and then we play. That's what I would do. Yeah.
Love it. All right, now one more hypothetical question, and then we're gonna start wrapping it up.
Okay.
If you had to pick a different genre to perform, that is not a genre you've ever performed yet, what would it be?
I would do, like 1920s wah-wah jazz, like industrial revolution type, maybe like 40s. I don't know. Whatever the cool. I say the 20s. You ever played a Grim Fandango, the video game?
No.
It's a great. It's about this skeleton, and it takes place. I'm pretty sure in like the 20s. But he's dead. It's crazy. The point is the jazz, but old jazz, like
okay.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now. Oh God, sorry. All right.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
Whew. This has been exciting, y'all. We're breaking fourth wall one more time. This video format's interesting.
That's fun. I'm rocking with it.
But and keep in mind, assumably this episode comes out June 7th. After that, what big events do you have coming up? What's happening in the future?
This comes out June 7th.
Yep.
By now we are playing a show. Wait, June 7th. Yeah, June 7th. June 7th. I know we were playing the Alberta Abbey.
Okay.
I think
you can look that one up. This is a take your phone out moment for sure.
Yeah.
Make sure to say all the things correctly.
What is the? God damn it! What's the venue?
While he's doing this part, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and do the fun wrap up so we don't have to actually end with it because this is boring. But as always, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow at Jimmy's Jambox on Instagram and YouTube. Yeah. And if you like what you heard, you like what you're hearing, and you think you're going to like what you're going to hear next, make sure to tune into the next one.
So we're playing the Alberta Street Pub on June 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. with IQ and Under Utopia.
Okay.
And there's going to be free drinks.
Oh.
And
y'all heard that. It's not even BYOB. It's show up and get a B.
Yeah, hopefully this is like, I'm just going to say it because this is what's supposed to happen, but we're going to get free drinks from 7 or 6:30 to 8:30 or something like that.
That's exciting.
So
show up early.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Hell yeah. Now, how can people connect with you?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, if you like me getting manic and shouting random political things. But Instagram is probably the best place to find me, which is Mankatofornow, 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 and that's my social everywhere. So
hell yeah.
Also check out, for the time being, Shallow Grove on YouTube.
Yeah. Any other shout outs or plugs you want to do? Feel free to take out a laundry list and go for it.
I don't like, if I wish I should have prepared this because I feel like I always leave someone out. So I want to shout out my mom, my dad, and I'm going to shout out Walker right now, but I got a lot of people in my heart that I want to give love to, but we're not going to give, if you know who you are.
I got you.
That's for now. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, now we got one last question.
Lay it on me.
And while we can't close it up the way we used to, y'all, we're still going to ask it because it still matters. What is your guilty pleasure song?
Oh, I have an answer for this. But I don't know what it is right now. Because I have a really good one. I know I had a really good one. Shoot. God. Oh man. Oh wait.
Yeah, you go for it.
I need to
Go
look it
for
up.
He's looking it up again, y'all.
I gotta go for the crazy
He's
one.
phoning a friend.
And then this is gonna be not crazy now, because I'm gonna be like, oh, that's what I was thinking of, and then it's, I really like, yeah, this is falling flat. Here we go.
For those of you that don't love these quiet moments or odd moments, the audio platform will have these kind of bits edited out. But you should still keep watching it on here because it's way more fun.
Oh, real? That's actually hella tight that you can do that. The problem is that you know what I'm doing right now, and it's like, oh man, it's not funny if I look it up. I don't know. I hate that this is what I'm thinking of right now, but the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny.
Yes,
that's such a bad answer, but also
that's such a great track.
It is
dude.
a good song. Yeah. I'll go with that for now.
I'm not saying I know all the words still, but I know damn near all the words.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, great track, y'all. The Ultimate Showdown, was that?
It's like 2000.
Who did? Was that Def Lemon? No, that wasn't Dev 11. Who did Ultimate? Okay, now I'm pulling my phone out. I want to make sure that we plug that at least correct. And I'm going to be so mad when I see who it is. Ultimate Showdown.
It's like totally came
Lemon Demon. Or Lemon Demon.
No,
yeah.
wait. Lemon Demon made that?
Lemon Demon.
Holy fucking shit.
And when I said Dev Lemon, I definitely meant
you meant
Lemon
that's
Demon.
What I was talking about.
I could never not say Lemon Demon. It's Lemon Demon. Lemon Demon.
We were talking about Dev Lemons earlier today. It's funny, but that's crazy. That no way. He does way more stuff. That's insane.
Surprise.
Crazy. Wow.
Surprise.
That really just showed my age and also my like really bad internet humor.
I mean, there's so many good tracks from back in the day.
Yeah.
The Yes Dance.
I don't know if I remember that one.
Y'all, this is some deep lore. Go look up the Yes Dance. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Word.
But we're going to officially wrap things up. Y'all, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Sam.
And we're signing off.